This is Facing South Florida with Jim DeFede.
Welcome to Facing South Florida. I'm Jim DeFede. Hurricane Milton made landfall near Sarasota as a Category 3 hurricane, tearing through the state and leaving a trail of destruction and devastation in its wake. But as bad as this storm was, it could have been much worse. Nevertheless, the economic effects of the storm will likely be felt for a very long time on all of us. Will Milton, along with Helene, worsen the insurance crisis in Florida? I think we already know the answer to that, but what, if anything, can the state do about it? Those were the issues I wanted to address today, and I could not think of a better person to have that discussion with than former State Senator Jeff Brandes. While many of his Republican colleagues spent their time on restricting abortion or passing laws to ban books or worrying about drag queen brunches, Brandes always seemed focused on issues that matter to the people most. He now leads a think tank here in the state, the Florida Policy Project.
This is obviously could have been a lot worse had it come just 20 or 30 miles north and impacted Tampa Bay. It would have been radically worse. That's really the worst case scenario for the Tampa Bay market. So I think it's probably a $30 billion event overall. I think you will see attached at the cat fund level at the Florida to the Florida cat fund level. But I think obviously it could have been a lot worse.
And what does that mean? So break that down a little bit. If you're looking at like a $30 billion event, that's both a hit to citizens and to the private insurance companies. So citizens probably did not get as hurt in this storm as they could have been. It's probably more on the burden of private insurers this time around, correct?
That's correct. I mean, Citizens has a huge percentage of policies in the Tampa Bay area, specifically Pinellas County and Hillsborough County. But as this storm moved through, you get more and more private insurers involved. And so I think it's probably about a $5 billion hit to Citizens and probably a $25 billion hit to the rest of the industry.
So a $5 billion hit to Citizens, they can absorb that. I think they can handle that.
Absolutely.
Right?
This will use about half their surplus. So they still have funds for another storm this year if there is another one, but that uses about half the Citizens surplus and probably a substantial portion of the cat funds, the catastrophic fund of the state of Florida's resources as well.
And for the private insurance companies, some of whom the state has slowly been trying to lure back in, what's the impact on them likely to be?
Well, I think it'll be meaningful, but I don't think this is not a death blow to any of the private insurance companies. I don't think any of them will fail from this storm. Probably could have another storm and probably say that of equal size, but it will be a significant impact. I think it probably keeps rates from going down next year. This is the kind of the storm we were we were concerned about that would probably prohibit rates from dropping that much. I still think you probably will see a 1 to 5% reduction in rates. I think Tallahassee will be putting their heavy hand on insurance companies to figure out a way to lower rates next year.
I've seen some estimates that maybe 90% of the people in the state of Florida don't have flood insurance. And so talk to me about how flood insurance plays here and what's likely to happen going forward. Because Citizens, as you told me previously, requires you to have flood insurance. A lot of private insurers don't, but you think they're going to start heading that way?
I do. In fact, there's some announcements of private insurers I think that are coming out in the next week or so that have said that they're going to require their customers to have flood insurance going forward. Listen, when you have storms like this, what you realize is how many people are operating without flood insurance. I think even after Helene, we're finding only 25% of the people in the kind of what we consider flood zone prone areas have flood insurance. And it's devastating for individuals to find out that their property insurance doesn't cover flood insurance. Almost all the property insurance companies that operate in Florida don't have a flood insurance that operates with as far as part of that policy. So people have to go out and buy separate flood insurance. Listen, nobody in Florida is more than 70 miles from the coast. Everybody in Florida needs flood insurance. These storms highlight that fact. That if there's one big takeaway after these storms, it's the challenge that we have if you have property insurance and not flood.
Let's take a step back for a second, because also the issue that I always find between the challenges of windstorm and flood, or basically wind and water, is the windstorm carriers tend to want to say, well, this is a flood issue, and the flood issue The flood carriers want to say, well, it's actually a windstorm issue, and you do a lot of finger pointing back and forth. And I guess what I'm trying to figure out too is, given some of the reforms that the legislature has made in recent years, specifically with the belief that there needed to be tort reform, that there needed to be limits on the amount of litigation brought against insurance companies, that there was a feeling that Florida was too litigious. And that may be the case, but I'm wondering if we're about to start realizing the full effects of those changes, in that as people try to file claims against insurance companies, try to sue insurance companies, they're going to have a lot harder time now in Florida.
Well, I think Milton is the first real test of the new law. I don't think it was Helene. Helene was largely a flood event. But I think Milton will be the first new test of this law, but it's also the first new test of the legislature's new requirements on adjusting for property insurance companies. So property insurance companies now have a certain timeline that they have to make contact, that they have to adjust claims in. And unless the governor weighs that, which he may, then that's really a new test for them as well. But I think we'll see how ultimately this plays out. But to your point, I would imagine most of the claims that are still open from Hurricane Ian are that flood versus wind controversy between insurance companies, who's responsible for what. And ultimately, that's why I think people need flood insurance, because you need, no matter who, somebody's going to be responsible for it. What you don't want to be is with a property insurance policy that doesn't cover flood and have flood damage.
One of the things you talked about with the Office of Insurance Regulation, do you think that the office, OIR as it's known, do you think they do an aggressive enough job, that they are on top of these things, that they are holding the insurance company accountable?
I think that they have made a strategic shift to doing that going forward. I think you've seen fines coming out of OIR for claims handling practices. We had historically not seen that. So I think they have made a strategic shift now, and I think they're dedicating an appropriate amount of resources to ensure there is appropriate oversight. I know even before this storm came out, they were asking companies for what they believe their estimated damage was, and I think there will be incredible accountability now by OIR to ensure that the reforms that the legislature passed are implemented.
All right. Anything more you want to talk about that I haven't had a chance to?
No, I think I think this could have been a lot worse. This is a substantial storm for Florida, but this is a manageable storm for Florida. I think Florida does disaster recovery better than any state in the country. I think the governor has dedicated an immense amount of resources to getting power back on, to getting debris removed. I think we're going to see the legislature continue to make some changes. But I think the insurance industry is radically stronger than it was 2 years ago under Hurricane Ian. New standards have come into place that they're going to have to conform to as far as claims adjusting. And I think that they are dedicating the appropriate amount of resources to get things adjusted. I think one thing that isn't being talked about is the effect of Helene on the overall industry. So think about this. You have adjusters in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia that are up there. It's difficult to get enough adjusters right now in Florida. And this is something I think is going to have to be addressed, is what kind of resources can we really bring to bear? If we have 700,000 to 1 million claims, that's really problematic. And I think we're going to have to work to address that.
Are there issues that the legislature should take up next year with regard to this? Are there solutions from a legislative perspective?
Look, I think the number one thing that the legislature should be doing and working towards is what else can we do to incentivize people to get flood insurance? Whether that's education, incentives, flood insurance has become, by these two storms, the number one issue now one of the top issues faced in Florida is the lack of flood insurance for coastal properties. We've got to address that. We've got to have the tools to address that. And Florida, more than any other state, is being shown to be vulnerable for inland flooding and frankly, even freshwater flooding.
When we come back, the race for House District 106, we will talk to Joe Saunders, who is looking to oust Republican Fabian Basabe. Stay with us.